Sometimes the best way to really get a handle on where a country is heading is to just look at a single week. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a snapshot of India by connecting a few seemingly random events that all went down within just a few days. Okay, let's get right into it. So, what does a nation on the move actually look like? Well, it can seem like a pretty complex puzzle at first, but once you start putting the pieces together, a really clear picture starts to emerge. And that picture, well, it's defined by some pretty big numbers. First up, 6.5%. That's the GDP growth rate Standard & Poor's is predicting for India in the 2025 fiscal year. To put that in perspective, that makes it the fastest growing major economy on the planet. Next up, 10 lakh rupees. This is a huge deal. It's the brand new daily payment limit for UPI, India's game-changing digital payment system. That's a massive leap forward for high-value e-commerce. And finally, 1.65 lakh. That's how many local post offices all across the country are about to be turned into digital hubs, connecting even the most remote parts of rural India. See, these aren't just random numbers. They tell a story. So let's break it down. All right, first things first, the engine. What's actually powering this national movement? Well, it all kicks off with an economy that's showing incredible resilience and a whole lot of confidence. So the really crucial thing about this S&P forecast isn't just the 6.5% number itself. I mean, that's impressive for sure. No, the real story here is that this prediction is holding strong even with all the major global headwinds we're seeing. Supply chain chaos, geopolitical tensions, all of it. That points to an economy that is seriously resilient. And if you want a perfect example of that confidence, look no further. We are talking about the largest cross-border deal in the entire history of Indian banking. Japan's Sumitomo Mitsui buying a massive chunk of Yes Bank from the State Bank of India. A deal of this size just screams huge international faith in India's financial sector. Now, a booming economy needs a modern financial system to actually support it, right? So let's dive into how India is seriously upgrading its digital and regulatory backbone. If you've been following India's digital story at all, you already know UPI is a total game changer. This new limit increase, which kicks in on September 15th, 2025, is the next big evolution. By bumping up the daily limit for merchants to 10 lakh rupees, that's 1 million rupees, it means we don't have to rely on older, clunkier systems like RTGS anymore. It just makes big-ticket digital payments seamless. So who does this actually help? Well, pretty much anyone making a big payment. Think about it. Paying your hefty insurance premiums, investing in mutual funds, booking that big international trip, or handling major loan payments. All of that just got a whole lot simpler and faster. But this isn't just about flashy new tech. It's also about making the rules smarter. The Reserve Bank of India has basically created a permanent spring cleaning crew for financial regulations. Every 5 to 7 years, this team is going to go through the rulebook, simplify it, and modernize it, just to keep the whole system quick and efficient. And speaking of efficiency, SEBI, India's market regulator, has basically just rolled out the welcome mat for foreign investors. It's called Swagat Fi. And the name says it all. Swagat literally means welcome. This whole framework is designed to make it way easier for global institutions to invest, hopefully attracting stable, long-term capital into the country. Okay, so all this high-level finance is one thing, but how does this massive transformation actually reach every single citizen? That brings us to this really crucial idea of connecting the last mile. This is just a brilliant move. You take one of the country's oldest and most widespread networks, the Postal Service, and you partner it with a national telecom provider, BSNL, all of a sudden, 1.65 lakh post offices become local hubs selling SIM cards. That's a massive boost for digital access in rural and remote areas, and it's a huge step for both digital and financial inclusion. But look, India's incredible domestic transformation isn't happening in a bubble. Its growing economic power means it has to navigate an increasingly complex and, frankly, tense global stage. For example, in the very same week we're talking about, you had South Korea and the United States reaffirming their goal of denuclearizing the Korean peninsula. At the same time, North Korea is pushing ahead with its weapons programs. That kind of regional instability is a major challenge that a rising power like India has to carefully manage as its global influence continues to grow. So we've looked at the economic, the digital, and the geopolitical. But what ties it all together? What's the glue? That brings us to the final piece of this puzzle: the Civic Foundation. To really build a sense of national purpose, an initiative called Seva Parv, which translates to Festival of Service, was launched. It's a 15-day campaign neatly bookended by the Prime Minister's birthday and Gandhi Jayanti. It uses a digital app to encourage people to get involved in community service, all with the stated goal of promoting a sense of collective responsibility. So when you put it all together, this incredibly resilient economy, a digital revolution that's reaching every last village, and a nationwide push for civic engagement, all happening against a tense global backdrop, it leaves us with one critical question. As all this internal change speeds up, how is it going to redefine India's role and its influence in the world? Now that's the story to watch.